to begin. So I wanted to talk about something very important. This is going to be a game changer for a lot of persons. So pay close attention to what I'm about to share. So if you're just joining, you can type in the comment section where you're joining in from and what time it is that you're in, wherever that you're joining in from. So your location and the time. Okay. So I wanted to talk about designing times and seasons. So the first thing is I'd want to, I was checking earlier on Google, the meaning of time. I had something already in my head, but I also wanted to see what a proper definition in quotes looks like. Yeah, so according to Wikipedia, it defined time as the continuous progression of existence and apparently irreversible succession from the past to the present, then into the future. But what I originally had in mind was, time is a unit of life. And what do I mean? So when you say something is out of time, it means its existence has come to an end. And so a person who is out of time or truly out of time means that this person is dead. So as long as a person has time, the person has life. Hence why it simply says it is the unit of life. Now, according to the ancient Greeks, there are like two types of time, right? There's the Kairos time and then there's the Chronos time. The Chronos time is also what we refer to as the proper time, the time where things happen. The time where, duration counts. For example, minutes, hours, days, weeks, so on and so forth. And then we have Chronos time. The Chronos time, I'm missing this note. And then we have the Kairos time, right? The Kairos time is the opportune time, the time where things that you usually would do and get little to no results. But because you are in the opportune time, you would get tremendous results doing the same thing that you used to do and will get little to no results. The Kairos time. And this is very important because a lot of you go through life just hoping that what would be. But there are times where your effort matters the most compared to any other time. And usually it is in different degrees and dimensions. For example, what do I mean? You can be having a Kairos moment in your financial life, right? You just do little things, it works. You just try to sell something, people just buy. You just try to do like one thing, you just make so much money from it. And these are the things you usually would do at previous years, and nothing much seems to come out of it. Just pay attention, right? So the Kairos moment. So you can be having that in your finance, and in your relationships, you are having Chronos time, meaning you're just meeting people. It's not productive. You tend to lose things with them. It just seems to be meeting the wrong people at that time. So this is me trying to explain that Kairos can happen in different dimensions at the same time. But the point that I'm driving to is that a lot of people miss their Kairos moment because they are unable to design that time. They're unable to design that at this point in my life, there is something I should be paying attention to different from what I am currently paying attention to. So if we relax right now and just think, because as humans, we have senses. even into the spiritual state of things. A lot of people think that you have to, be in one spiritual state of being to be able to know what is going on around you spiritually. But sometimes you just have to pay attention well enough to catch clues. In my own personal experience, I have noticed that when I am beginning to design that, okay, it seems like I am supposed to be doing this right now based on my season in life, based on my purpose, I start to get clues. It comes like, insights. I just get a leading. I just, notice this thing more often than any other thing else. But a lot of people see these things and they don't pay attention. And this is always a pointer to what you should be doing at that point in time. One time I was in a meeting and my father was speaking, and he said that destiny has timing. And when you miss the timing of your destiny, you fall into a lower destiny. And what this simply means is that, for example, if your destiny is supposed to be that at the age of 30, you'll be a global doctor. And that happens if you start practicing the things that you should be doing early. But if instead of you starting by, say, 15 years old, you play away with your life and you start by 20 years old, you've missed the timing of starting early. And what happens is that you would still end up a doctor, but maybe a doctor in your continent, like you'll be continentally relevant and not globally relevant. And maybe you miss that timing of starting at 20 and you start by 25, you will still end up a doctor, but maybe you only be relevant to your nation, to your country, and not to the world at large as it was meant in the script of your destiny. So why is this important? Remember, we're talking about timing, designing the times of your life. Because I bet that to every single person on this life or that would rewatch this live session, there is something that you are currently being pulled towards right now. There's something that is giving you a clue. Maybe you go back to your house in the evening and at night you wake up and you just know that I should be doing this thing. I should be, going to certain kind of rooms or events. I should be reading this kind of books. I should be associating with this kind of people. I should be, embarking on this kind of projects. But maybe as a result of the kind of friends that you have around you or the environment that you find yourself in, it's not a supportive environment, so to speak, that actually celebrates and appreciates the things that are being pulled based on your season in life. And so you go out there, you smile with everybody, and you just laugh. But in depth that there is more. And when you only get to recognize and appreciate that leading when you get home. But what is actually happening is that you are killing that nudge. You are killing that Kairos that is approaching. So when it comes to Kairos, right, I would say that there is two types of Kairos seasons in life. There's a Kairos where you just stumble into it. You don't have to do anything about it. You just wake up one morning, you do the same thing that you used to do. Maybe as a result of certain things that you've done in the past or that someone else has done in the past. And that's the opportune moment for you to reap the reward of that effort. And so you just wake up and things just have to happen. But the other kind of Kairos, which I'm speaking more about right now, whereby you first have to take a certain kind of effort. You first have to take certain kind of actions, and the effect of that actions begins to happen over a period of time. But first, there is something you must do. It's just like pregnancy, right? A woman who is set to birth somebody, that person start having some kind of, experiences. First off, they start their taste appetite changes, right? Maybe they like eating, say bread. No, let's not use bread. Let's say they like eating rice, for example. But because they're not pregnant, rice is no longer something that they desire. They want to eat something entirely different from that. Or maybe they want to take certain kind of fruits or certain kind of meals at different times of the day, right? So that pregnancy begins to create a certain kind of appetite that is different from what they are used to. And this is to say that if you are in a Kairos moment where you need to put in certain work to get certain results, your appetite changes. You notice that the things that used to please you, the things that used to give you excitement, are no longer the things that used to give you excitement anymore. Pay attention to where you're being led to. A lot of people miss this season in life. And that's why instead of taking a journey in 40 years, instead of taking a journey in 40 days, they end up taking it in 40 years. When we talk about the children of Israel, when they had to cross the wilderness in the space of 40 years thereabout, I was having a conversation with someone and I was saying there was really no need for them to spend that long time in the wilderness. There was really no need for that. If only someone had designed, if only someone had paid attention, if only someone had believed that at this season of my life or of our lives as a people, we should lean into more of God or more of what God has for us. If you read the scripture very well, you will see that God said that there would have been a shorter route for them to get to their desired destination. But he thought these people, they may see war and they would want to return back to where they came from. So he had to take them through a longer route. But if only they followed what God originally had for them, they would have arrived at a well-designed destination prepared for them by God. So the question is, are you leaning into your design of your Kairos moments? Are you being separated, like you are being led to, separated into the right association, separated into the right role, separated to yourself to really seek and sort out what should I be doing right now? For some persons, you just need to immerse yourself in learning about the things that are around your purpose. For some other persons, you just need to immerse yourself in practicing your communication skills. For some other person, you just have to pay attention to relationships. And for some other persons, you just have to pay attention to becoming a master of your craft. Whatsoever it is for you, what are you doing? Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to your design? What I noticed from my own experience is that when you begin to pay attention, you begin to get more insights. It takes light to design. It takes light to be able to know what to do at any point in time. I keep giving this illustration every now and then. If you're in a dark room and you're looking for something, say a pin or a needle falls on the floor, what do you look for first? The pin or light? You look for light first, because light will be able to give you a direction of where to look at. And so when you begin to fall into your design, when you begin to lean into that which your spirit is yielding towards or is drawing you towards, you will start getting certain kind of insights about your season, about the time that you are in, and about how to maximize it. Whatever it is for you, do not get distracted by what is going on around you, because do not be driven by the circumstances of your current environment. Create an environment that supports your purpose and your opportune time, your Kairos moment. Create that environment, create that atmosphere. Because what happens is that if you lean towards it, if you function in that direction, you would reap the manifestation of that Kairos moment. So I just wanted to share this for the next couple of minutes, and let me know. I see a couple of persons have joined. Let me know where you're joining in from, and if any of this makes sense to you. I do not think that this is a message for everyone. Maybe just for one person, maybe just for two persons, maybe just for a few persons. I do not know. But I was just having this nudge in my spirit to talk about this, designing times and seasons, because everybody times and seasons are different, and it would be a lack of purpose. It would be a foolish mistake to pattern your life after the season of someone else when you have your own season and your own timing to work in, right? You have to be able to pay attention. You have to be able to live in that design that you've been called, live in that design that you've been brought into. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Uh, I hope this helps someone. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, let me see if I have any comments. Okay. So by the way, I have the fourth edition of Hangout with Aisosa coming up next month on the 28th of May, and it's an exclusive event. It's an exclusive event for forward thinkers and for people who are ready to access that next level. The essence of the event is to drive you from where you are to where you should be. If you are feeling stuck, if you are in a place where you can't seem to figure out what's the next way forward, or you are tired of your current level and you want to know what you need to do to be able to take a big step into your next level, then this is a room that you should be in. You know, this is a room from the first, second, third editions. There has been a lot of testimonials about how people's lives are changed, about how they were able to access that which they never even knew existed, built formidable relationships, and got to connect with people of, you know, higher caliber, higher experience, higher expertise in whatever field that they are in. So this is me formally inviting you to be a part of the Hangout with Aisosa fourth edition. You'll find the link maybe in the description of this video. Yeah, check the description of this video. I'll add the link there. And you can also join the waitlist group, or the official group rather. And looking forward to hosting you here. And this is happening live in Benin City. This edition is happening live in Benin City on the 28th of May. So if this sounds like something that you should be in, or an experience that you should be a part of, then don't miss it. Don't miss it. Right. Looking forward to seeing you if you're going to be a part of it. And don't forget about the message which I shared earlier, designing your times and seasons. Ensure that you're paying attention to your calling, attention to the time, your Kairos moments, and the things, the actions that you need to take towards your manifestation, right? By manifestation, I don't mean that you sit and wait and things happen. I mean that you take necessary actions as in a birthing season towards the achievement or towards the realization of that which awaits you. Thank you so much for joining this live session. I'll be going live again in a couple of, I don't know, days maybe. And watch out for any of my videos. And by the way, if this is your first time of joining this or being here in any of my life or on this channel, do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I go live or whenever I drop a video on this channel. See you for now. Bye.